Good on, guys. I hope you are all well today. So I am recording this video because last week I had a £1,000 consult with a guy, and it made me realize. I put a post out on my Facebook that when I was getting into entrepreneurship, I remember having this target in my head of if I can just make £1,000 a month, I'll be free. I won't have to work a job, and that's it. My entrepreneurship journey will be, off the floor kind of thing. And man, I just thought a few years later, and I'm able to drop that money on literally a 50-minute conversation with a guy who's had massive success in this online business and marketing world. It's man, that is all business and entrepreneurship is about. It's growing, it's hitting milestones, it's overcoming challenges and progressing. So for you guys who are coaches, you'll already know this because you're a coach and you've been through this journey yourself, and now you're helping other people. But it just made me realize the importance of why do we struggle so much doing things on our own when there is someone else out there who can help you. So just like you might be a business coach, you might be a trading coach, e-com, Amazon, a fitness coach, property coach. I've worked with all kinds, singing as well, cooking, golf, all kinds of coaches I've built funnels for. And it all comes down to what is the commonality? Well, all of these clients I work with have a confidence and a skill that adds a tremendous amount of value to someone else. And let's just pick the fitness example for, because it's quite easy to understand. But if you're overweight or you're not happy with your body, well, you can, option A, try it yourself, or option B, you hire a personal trainer or an online fitness coach who has an incredible body, who used to have a not so incredible body, and has helped a bunch of other people do it too. And sometimes as coaches yourself, you forget to use that same principle with things like your online marketing, with funnels, with design and branding, and all of this heavy lifting shit, which we all know you haven't got time for. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And so I'm making this video as, obviously, I would love to have you apply and work with me. So I'm making it for myself as well, but I'm also helping you remind yourself of this power. So I actually get into some of the lessons from this consultation call. Don't worry, obviously, I want to share that value with you guys, because why not? That's why I'm here on this channel, right? But long story short, is the first thing is, don't forget that. Your very job is to get someone from A to B in as short as possible time without suffering as much as they would have without you, right? And since you're already at B, well, it makes complete sense for them to just pay you for the shortcut. But that's what we can all forget. And that was me. So again, from a few years ago when I first started this stuff, I've smashed through many B's as such, those targets, those milestones. And this particular B that I'm trying to reach has been something that I have took on myself for a long time now. Couple of years. We always do this, right? We want to figure it out ourselves, and we feel proud by completing these challenges and not needing help. But it's am I thick? Why am I suffering? Why am I struggling when someone's done it? If I was, to start a bakery, which I always think, if I was not a funnels guy and in the marketing world and entrepreneurship, I'd probably just have a bakery, man. I'd make coffee and I'd make pastries and shit, and I think that would be mad fun. Maybe when I retire one day and stop doing entrepreneurship, when there's no more funnel builders needed in the world, that is what I would do for sure. And if I was to do that, option A would be to do it and figure it out, and to try and think about all the steps from a logical point and then attack them myself without really knowing what is the path and what's to come. The other option would be, I'll just Google bakery coach, launch my bakery faster, who is the most successful baker in my area with maybe multiple chains, the franchise, and I'll just pay them for their time and help. And imagine the insights I would get from that option instead. Well, the only downside is it costs money, but as long as you've got that, it's sweet. You know what I mean? If you don't have that, well, then I would probably go to YouTube. I would obsess about 10 hours to 10,000 hours of videos and try and pick up all of that without spending money. Well, of course, the downside of that is it takes time. So there is a trade-off in this world. And again, for your funnels, for your marketing, for getting your offers out into the world, option A is to struggle, waste time, and have a shit funnel, bad design, it doesn't convert, and you don't know how to test it or tweak it. Option B is you pay me, and you can do that in the description below. Well, you have to apply first, and then we have to get on a call, but then you can pay me. And for me, that's what I did with this guy. So here are some of the insights I took. The first insight was it was insanely simple, the things he was saying. So I was quite taken back at first. I was like, this isn't really the magic I was looking for. As in, I was expecting some golden answer that would blow my head into smithereens. But really, what the biggest takeaway was the reminders of how simple things are and how easy it is for us to overlook them. Now, what I mean by that is you might be sitting on the best strategy for your business, but you might have overlooked this one little tweak that you've been doing wrong. That means it's not been working. And so some of the challenges you can face is you think you're shit, you think your business is broken, you think your offer isn't good enough, but what you failed to overlook was a very simple change. That's what Tony Robbins talks about too, the 2mm shifts. And if you don't know about that lesson, the brief story is Tony Robbins was playing golf and he was doing very well. And his coach made him 2mm rotated, right? And he hit it and it went completely off the course. And his coach was trying to teach him that in golf, the tiniest angle of your swing and the ball goes completely off course. And it's the same in life, and that's what I've learned from Tony. Again, spending 20 plus K on his staff, having his coaches, all of that, been to a ton of his events. Anyway, so that was number one. It was like the simplicity that I've been overlooking, as in I've been really trying to force one way when I forgot to take a step back and get out the box and see that actually trying to force this one approach is very unproductive. Whereas I should come back up and try a bunch of different approaches that are very different from each other, because clearly from the results, this one approach is very narrow and it's not working. So what I was trying to do is to say this phone is approach one. I'm trying to be inside approach one, making all these little tweaks inside of it. Whereas what I should be doing is approach 2 or 3. I'm just grabbing random shit I've got on this table instead. So in my head, I think I'm doing approach 1, 2, 3, and 4 in my phone, but really that's a very narrow kind of angle. I need to come out and do radically different things, radically different approaches. And again, it's very simple. It doesn't require a lot of effort to do a radically different approach. We just need to get over the idea and the fixation on the approach we are trying to make work. All right. That was number one. Number two is understanding my audience. So for you guys, if you're watching this, like, I know you inside and out. And I was telling him this. I'm like, I know you guys have no fucking time. You have a great passion, a great drive and skills as a coach, and you want to launch your business or grow your business, but you have no time. You don't even want to think about funnels or designing in GHL, Go High Level, or any of that. You just want to help people make money and be free from these mundane tasks that I agree, you should not be doing that. That's why I am here. And that was a great reminder. It was really cool to be like, who am I really talking to? And it made me think, fuck, maybe some of my messaging has been a little bit unaligned with that. All right. So I was trying to call out to a different kind of person, trying to call out to maybe a broader audience of coaches that do have time, but they are not my ideal clients, you see? And so it was a very good reminder of like, he was just asking me questions. Tell me about your clients. Tell me, who do you serve? Why do you serve them? And that was really, really nice. So do it yourself. Do it yourself. Have a reminder. Who are your best clients? One of the best questions actually that my Tony Robbins coach asked me once was, in all the revenue you've made, in all time revenue, the people that have paid you the most, who are they? Like that, those are your ideal clients because they bring you in the most money. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they're the best clients. So, you know, if there's a couple of idiots within that list, take those out and then answer the question for the top selection. But that question really opened a lot of ideas for me in who I don't want to call out to anymore. And of course, this reflects in your marketing, your ads, your VSLs, all of that. And so right now I'm actually redoing my VSL funnel. So very excited by that. And what else? Having a big vision. Just knowing that is possible. I think this one is a very mindset thing, right? But when you're at A and you're trying to get to point B, and we have this false expectation of how long that is going to take. And if we don't meet that expectation, then we start freaking out and our brain fills with limiting beliefs. But if you just realize that there are a tremendous amount of people over here at B, but you can then start to throw away those beliefs that it's not possible, no one's done it before, I can't do it. All of those limiting beliefs go out the window. So he was reminding me of like how many people have done this before, how much money they've made doing these similar businesses before. It's like, okay, now I can start throwing out those limiting beliefs like I'm not doing it correctly or it's not possible. Then what can replace that? So it's important, again, in the world of psychology, whenever you remove a belief, you've got to replace it or another bad one will come in. And so that's when you can start to think like, this is possible. I can find the solution. I will change approach until it works. And that's a much more productive way to think. Now, the final thing that I'd love you guys to take away is something he was saying a little bit through the call of, if I was to buy your business, here's what I would do. Now, that is a question before the call. I was so ready for that. I was going to ask him myself. I was very ready to ask that question. I was like, because if you speak to someone who's made, tens of millions of dollars online, why would you not want to know that answer? Like, what would you do if we changed businesses? So my answer to that was I would go straight for the top 10% of the best clients, the cream of the crop, that will really bring in the most joy, the most money, and allow you to give the most impact and over deliver to them with the highest level of service you can. And now, again, this is not freaking rocket science. I know this shit. However, I'd been so far into approach number 1 that I actually just completely overlooked that. All right, now, there was a very good reason for that. But it's such a great reminder that you don't have to suffer. You don't have to try and make all these other options work apart from the one that is just going straight for the people that are ready to buy. They have the investment and they are willing to put it on the line for you and your service as a coach. You see, in the funnels world, there are many different funnels you can launch, and some of them take a lot of time to figure out. For example, like a low ticket self-liquidating funnel, in my opinion, it takes a lot of work to get that up and running to the point where you're actually making money, bringing in customers, let alone making it profitable. Whereas a VSL application funnel is much simpler. There's much less moving pieces. You literally send someone to a page. They either want your outcome or they don't want your outcome, and that's it. So this is my reminder. That's what he told me. It's like, I know you're trying to do these other options, but why not simplify your business, simplify your life, and remove any variables that might get in the way? And so that is exactly what I am doing. And I'm just trying to think if there's any other takeaways. I mean, one of them alone was just being on the call with the guy. So if any of you have been to events, you'll know that there's an energy in that room, right? Like one of my clients recently went to Russell Brunson's Funnel Hacking Live. I've been to see Stephen Bartlett, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, just being in that room alone gives you, it kind of, I don't know, it gives you like fuel almost. You absorb that energy of somebody who is successful. It's a very strong, bizarre feeling, but it's cool. So that was one thing alone, right? So I definitely recommend it for yourself. Like, if there is somebody ahead of you that you can get on a call with, like, for the energy alone, it's going to drive you to get from A to B even faster, right? And outside of that, what else? I think that was genuinely it. So I'm just thinking for you guys, like, what else will be valuable? But that is the rundown, right? It's get out of the box, look at other approaches outside of the angle you're really trying to force and be successful with, to simplify your business, simplify your life in terms of the strategy and the variables. Literally, like, it's just a mathematical thing that in a sales funnel, as many variables that you have will make a difference in the results. And less variables simply means it's easier to test, right? If you have a really long form sales page, you just got to change more shit before you really know what is the thing that you needed to change. Whereas if you only have like 3 or 4 elements on a sales funnel, well, now you know what, when you make a change to one of them, it either goes up or down. And then you make a change to another one, it either goes up or down. So it's very, very simple in that way. Does that make sense to you guys? And then the final one is going after the cream of the crop. And who are they? Who, what is going on inside their brain? And you might know these conversations from dealing with them. You've just forgotten, like me. Or if you've not, if you're brand new, then he recommended that I actually go away and start DMing some people, try and get on a call with them to just market research, essentially. Now, there's many other ways, there's many other, strategies to do that market research. But yeah, that is the rundown. And trust me, that will open up a whole world of opportunity for my business and your business. If you really look at these lessons head on and between the lines too, it could be worth a hell of a lot for your coaching business. So if you want help with your funnels from somebody like me who is obsessed, who's building funnels every day, who has built funnels for some of the biggest coaches and also some of the most driven beginner coaches as well, apply in the description, right? The service is called, I was actually going to put this on. I don't know why I didn't put this on, but it's called the Funnel Experience. Oh, there you go. And that is what I will take you through to really take you from A to B faster, without the stress, without the hassle, and I'll handle everything for you. Okay, and again, I'm on the leading lines of this. So I'm investing in coaching, investing in ads, trying new funnels, and living and breathing the stuff that I do for my clients. Okay, so if that is you, sweet. If it's not you, don't worry. Join my academy instead. In the description, you'll learn about that. And until next time, I appreciate you guys so much. Go out there and shine, and I'll see you next time. Peace.